Go. All right, hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. Welcome to another Therapy Maximizer program student interview. We've got a really cool one today. Today we're lucky enough to have Janice online with us. We're going to spend our time during this interview finding out about Janice's background as a therapist, what she's doing now with her business. But we're coming at it from a different angle. Janice has actually been with me as a mentor and part of this program since like the birth of it, since the absolute beginning, and even before that, when I was teaching hypnotherapy. So we're going to pick up right around the time when Janice decided, you know what, I want to increase, I want to do something with this business. I want to make more income. I want to grow it, I want to scale it. We're going to pick it up from there, but I'm very, very interested to see what Janice has been doing with her business over the last few years that I've known her. And we'll definitely take a deep dive into what she's doing, the strategy she's using, how she's working from what was $500 clients to now scaling that to $2,500 clients. There's a really cool backstory behind this. And hopefully for everybody listening, they can pick up on some things that Janice is doing, understand her mindset, understand the difficulty she went through and how she's, just absolutely crushing it right now. So Janice, thanks for jumping on.
You're welcome.
Excellent. So let's start from the beginning. Your background as a therapist and a coach. Tell me about your business, let's say through to even 2 or 3 years ago. What was happening?
Okay, 2 or 3 years ago was like an interesting time because I started off as a quit smoking hypnotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into hypnotherapy from previously, like in another life, doing NLP. So, that was sort of how I got into it. So I've been interested in the mind and that sort of thing for ages. So I started with smoking because I thought, I thought I could stop my partner from smoking. He still smokes. So, so I got into that. I did that for a few years and that was going well. I was charging $500 for my therapy. And then smoking wasn't the thing that I really wanted to help people with. And that wasn't, like my background in things that I've done previously have been quite different, and they've been helping people with things like, getting over past issues. I worked a lot in welfare agencies and that in the government, so that's my background, and so my passion is helping people and finding a way that they can overcome the things that have happened to them. So, with the smoking, it was fun and I got into it, and, that was my intro into hypnosis. But then it wasn't really my passion. So I had a lot of success and I had beautiful clients, and then I started to look at going back into NLP to try to move into a different niche. And I think that's where I got totally confused because, I dabbled in a whole lot of things and I decided, if I am trying new things, maybe I should drop my price. I sort of lost my confidence because I was very confident with the quit smoking. And I got so confused in that period, and I was doing everything, and it was great. It was a great experience. I learned a lot, and I really learned what sort of clients I want to work with. And I also had, at that time, about 3 years ago, I had some, family issues. My mum was really sick and she passed away. And I met you sort of in that time where I got interested in the conversational hypnotherapy because I thought, this is how I can really work with people with anxiety and that type of stuff. So I sort of went to everything that you had and really got into it and found that exciting, and that helped me a lot. And then I really wound my business down because my mum passed away. She was, I had to spend a lot of time with her. I wanted to spend a lot of time with her toward the end. Mm-hmm. And then you had the boot camp. And I thought, I need this. I need this to get my confidence back, to get, my business back on track. I'd wound down to, 1 or maybe 2 days a week. And, and I'm older. So I was thinking, I don't have that many years left to really build my business. So I've got to get stuck into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the boot camp.
Okay, awesome.
And that was amazing.
Yeah, excellent. And for those listening as well, like we used to do, I used to teach this stuff live, but obviously, and I talk about a lot of this to the students in the program, the live model and teaching seminars and workshops is one of the hardest models you can actually scale. It's really hard to get get your hands around and actually scale it, because it's like you sell tickets for an event, you sell tickets for something live, and it's up to them if they show up. There's no real process in place to make sure people are going to show up, and upsells and all that sort of stuff. So run me back just a little bit. You said before, like you went from the smoking thing, and $500 for a stop smoking therapist is actually quite big. I'm speaking to therapists and coaches who are charging like $75, $100. I even spoke to someone yesterday, $29 a session. And it's quite alarming how, that alone, I don't know how people survive off that sort of money and definitely grow a business. So like when you were doing the smoking thing, you were charging what you were charging, you were having success, you were enjoying the client, but then you said you wanted to switch to anxiety, but you got confused. Like what's the difference in your mind? What happened?
That was just my own shit. Of course. Because I became so good at the smoking, like in the beginning, I was just like quite nervous, but I pushed through it, and I knew, like I'd done the study, I knew I could do it. But when I sort of stopped doing, I wasn't happy with scripts, because I used to use a script plus some NLP with my quit smoking. And so I was getting out of scripts, and I was thinking, that made me quite nervous. And that's why, I'd done a bit of stuff online. I'd done stuff like some of Igor's stuff and everything, but I liked your stuff better because it's sort of like no rules, all the bullshit's gone, like it's raw and it's great and it works. So I loved that. And like I even had a client who said to me, he was this gorgeous little young guy who had anxiety problems, and he came to me and we did the session, and his session only took about an hour or a bit more than an hour, and he had an amazing result. And I said to him, when I was processing his payment at the end, I said, like, have you got any questions? And he said, yeah, I've got one. He said, what I don't understand is how this is a business. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm a hypnotherapist. I was quite insulted. Yeah. And I said, I'm a hypnotherapist. What do you mean, how is it a business? This is what I do. And he said, yeah, but how do you make any money? And I said, what? Mm. And he said, this is just the weirdest business model I have ever come across. He said, you're only charging, and I think at that point I was charging like $250 or something. Mm-hmm. And he said, you're only charging me $250. He said, I will never come back because I don't need to. I'm totally, fixed. Everything is amazing. He said, so now you've got to go out and get new clients. He said, can't be making money doing this. Mm-hmm.
Talk about installing some doubt in your mind.
And that was a bit of a wake up. I thought, yeah, well, it is a bit hard because I do, like you're constantly looking for new clients because the old ones only come back if they've got a new issue. Mm. They refer people and everything, but it's not the same as being, like a massage therapist where people are coming in every month or, out that regularly. Mm. It's not like that. You see people, you help them and they're really happy and they go.
And it speaks a lot of truth as well, because a lot of us, we're always after, I want to fill my diary up with 20 or 30 clients per week. But in order to get to that stage and actually have paying clients, there's no way we could charge what we charge, which we'll get to soon. It has to be more the low end. But in reality, in order to get 20 clients per week, you need to be clocking at least 80 or 100 inquiries per month. And even if you went to as far as scaling Facebook ads and Google ads, even that's a tall order. And it would actually cost you more to get those leads than you're actually bringing in. So we base it on reality. Like you said, you've only got a couple of clients coming to see you per week. That's why our prices have to be so high, because it needs to be sustainable for you and your business to grow your revenue, your cash, your reserves, so you can take bigger leaps in your business.
Yeah. And I thought, like if my clients can see that,
Mm.
How silly am I?
Yeah, talk about reflection, right? It's probably what was going on
Oh,
inside your head.
it was so
Um,
funny.
but for most, like 250 a week as a therapist, that's pretty typical. That's pretty common. It's like $1,000 a month. You know, out of all the surveys that we collect per month, and we collect hundreds per month, 90% less than $1,000 a month. And it's a shame because there's so many good therapists out there, so many people that need our help, but it's not sustainable at that price.
Yeah, like I've been lucky enough to work in clinics. Like that has been, like lucky for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that option is available to everybody because, you get the clients referred to you like from the GPs and, from the other therapists and everything, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, like it's hard. I think I said to you before I actually went full on in with the new way of doing it, I took a break from the clinics,
Yes.
like just a month's break, and just sort of got my head around what I was doing so that I could go back there and say, well, look, this is what I'm doing now,
Mm-hmm.
which is so different and, charging a lot more than they do, and some of them don't understand. But, like I've explained it and, everybody gets it and it's good, and I'll continue to have those links. But, I can do a lot of stuff on my own now because of what you've taught us in the program.
Yeah. So, what were the main issues before you said, I'm going to dive deep into the business? I've had a bit of time off. It's now, as you said, your words, I've only got a little bit of time left on this earth, so to speak. I've got only a certain amount of time to actually build this business. What were the issues that you were finding? Was it a price thing you were suffering from? Was it not enough inquiries? Why didn't you just stick to the old way of doing things?
Oh, look, at that point, I got myself really confused about price,
Okay.
because I'm going from, like working in the clinics and having a price and then having a different one. And all of my clients who were referring people to me, like I just had to work out, whether I was going to say, look, I don't do this anymore, or do you know what I mean? Like, and I've been doing this for like 6 years now, so you have a lot of referrals, and I couldn't get that clear in my mind. And I mean, like one of the other things that that sort of working with you, I really get, one of the things that I love about the work that you do is that, the expectation is that we are good at what we do, so we don't go out there and we don't charge thousands of dollars for something that's not worth thousands of dollars,
Yes,
so
yeah.
in the, like, what I've been, because I have been with you for a long time, and since the boot camp where we were starting to learn to do this, I thought, well, I really got to work on myself, because that's part of the therapy maximizer as well, getting all of my own shit sorted. And, like at the boot camp, you suggested that we, buddy up with somebody and, sort of help each other and do that sort of stuff. So I did that. I jumped in and did that. And, I've worked with a couple of people and I've been working with a buddy now for more than 12 months. And,
Awesome.
And it's been amazing. Like, we've been able to do amazing things, both, in our personal rubbish that we've been carrying around and, in our business as well, because we're both doing the same course with you, and we're, really helping each other, which is fantastic. And I think that's one of the great things about the therapy maximizer is we've got that group of people, and everybody can find somebody who's, at a similar level or has the same goals and that sort of thing, and actually utilize that, as well as all the wonderful stuff that you've got. Like, there's some amazing people in the group. So, I've done all that as well. And the last little bit was just getting my head around how I was going to move from that old model to the new one and just like do it.
So how do you structure the hour and per session model? Like, how did that work in your business?
I've tried a range of things. I've done the per hour. I've done the, the end result stuff. But what I've done now is, like, with the stuff that you've given us, I've been able to get into a niche where I've been able to do a lot of research by chatting with people who have the issue, like you have us do early on in the course. And, by really understanding exactly what's going on for them, it's easier to develop a therapy that they actually need.
Yes.
And to take them from, like, I've always been, the thing for me has been taking them from whatever it is that they think their issue is and getting that done and dusted, but then moving that on and empowering them to be able to make their own change, like, so that they don't need me. Like, I don't want my clients to keep coming back. And that's always been my belief, that why waste your time fixing little things, although it's not a waste of time, but you know what I mean? Like, you can be empowering people to actually, not just get on with their life, but just make all the changes that they want to and have the tools to do that. So I guess what I've done with my breakthrough is that I've really focused on, getting them through whatever they think it is, and then doing the work that it really is and helping them to go past that. So, it maybe it's one session, maybe it's two, maybe it's three. I don't really care, because what I'm offering them is a breakthrough. And, like, they can do it so quickly because the people that I'm attracting are really ready for it, rather than, when you don't charge very much. There's one thing I learned when I was charging, not very much, is that people think they want to change. And then when they get what they have to actually do, and that's let go of their old beliefs and let go of things that they've learned to be comforted by, they actually don't want to do it. And so part of the, which of course you would know, part of the, the system that we have with the therapy maximizer, it really teases out those people quite early on, so that you're really only looking at the people that want a massive change. And they're the really exciting people to work with. So that's really what I've done. I've been able to work out what they want and what I want to to do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the perfect example is, let's say we get 10 clients, we have 10 inquiries. We're only expecting to work with 2 max at that high price. And then there's another 3 people who are on the fence who need a bit of convincing. But then the majority of that group, those last 5 people, it's not that they wouldn't pay for the price that we have, your $2,500. It's just like you said, they just don't want it bad enough. And we're not expecting to work with these people. And this sounds a little bit cold, but I'm not even expecting you guys to even waste probably the wrong word, but I'll use it now, waste your time speaking to these people, because it's taking time away from the actual clients who are ready now, who need your help now, that are so ready for what you do. Don't care about price, don't care about your process, don't even care about you as a therapist. They just want help. So if we're spending all our time trying to chase these other 5 people, convince them, buy one, get one free, pro bono sessions, I'll give you a free audio, you ended up working for them and you become almost desperate at that point. So again, it's why we have to raise our prices to an extent that we're only expecting to work with a couple of people out of every bunch that inquire with us or work with us. And you have to get past the mindset of, I want to work with everybody. I need to get numbers in the business. No, you don't. You need to find those clients that, for lack of better words, have skin in the game. Because if they're putting $2,500 on the table, it does 2 things. Psychologically for you, it makes you think, wow, I better make this work, because that's a lot of money. But to them, it's like, well, I'm committed. It's like they're saying unconsciously to themselves, I'm committed to this. I'm going to put whatever Janice says into place. And they start working on themselves. They start therapizing themselves, because I think the very first part of any sort of intervention with a client is like, there's a convincing stage. Like, I'm good. You're going to be okay. I'll look after you. This will work, all that sort of stuff. But when you reach that high level client, like the $2,500, even one of the students, Greg's, doing $10,000 for his program, he says the same thing. The people are like 3/4 done. We just give them a bit of a nudge, and that's all they need, and that's where they have those massive breakthroughs. So when you had the session per hour model, and let's jump forward a little bit, you've gone through 4 iterations of the program. So we're now on what I would say is probably the best version thus far. And we really focus on high prices, lower client numbers, giving true value, getting to the end result, overall transformation. You said before you struggled to get from like the $500 to the $2,500, get your mind around that. What was happening at that stage? Why was it important for you to actually get to the $2,500?
Because I could see that I would need less clients and I could give more, really.
Awesome.
It was as simple as that, like you have, you have people come in and you think, if I could just spend a bit more time with them, or, and if you're charging by the hour, like they sort of think, should I do another session? Will I get something out of it? You know what I mean? And you just think, oh man, I wish I could just keep them. And sometimes I would go over the time, just because I thought I really want to get the best result for this person.
Yeah.
And so then you find, like if they were really close, then you find, so now I've gone over a few hours, and it's just silly. It's silly. And I realized that. And I just thought, why am I doing this to myself? And why am I shortchanging my clients? Why aren't I really saying, this is what it's going to take from both of us?
Yeah. I always imagine it like this. Like, when it comes to the whole sessions and package thing, it's we as therapists that have introduced that to society. People don't know.
Yes.
I always thought, how the hell are you going to say to a client, so you want to quit smoking? Do you want to do a 5-pack, 10-pack, or 15-pack? How are they supposed to know? But at the same time, it's like all the hours up. What are you supposed to do? Like wake them out of trance and go, hang on, your hours up, come back next week? I could never figure that out. And like you said, was great, because you only need, let's say you're only seeing one client a day, like $2,500 a day. If you've got to spend all day with that client, so be it.
Yeah.
If you've got to spend 20 minutes, that's awesome too. You're not confined by trying to squeeze in like this massive overall transformation in this tiny bit of time, because therapy doesn't work like that. Our minds don't work like that.
And it's also lovely for the clients, because you can say to them, look, I just say to them, I book the day out. So I advise you to do the same. And they go, oh my goodness. And I say, look, it probably won't take that long. But the reality is, this is an issue that you're having. I need to help you in your way, So I've got no idea how long that will take. And you don't even know what you're going to do you really? Like you used to tell us, client walks in, you go from there.
That's it.
So, you just can't, you can't put them in a little box. And when you explain that to them, they get really excited about that, and they think, wow, she's actually going to help me with my issue, which is a little bit different from the way that the other models work.
Yeah, it's like, could you imagine saying to a client, you know what, we're going to spend all day together, but it's only $100. It wouldn't be in your best benefit. You wouldn't survive. Like, let's look at this logically. Like,
they wouldn't come.
Exactly. We can't systemize therapy, but we can definitely systemize the business. So like looking at like the time that you're giving, what a lot of people don't realize, and I know you're realizing this now, is it's like the 80-20 rule. It's like the old model is the reverse. Like you have to spend 80% of time with clients because you've got a low price and 20% growing the business. But now because your price is high and it's the total opposite vector, 20% time with clients, 80% getting new clients. That's the way the business model has to run. And you can only do that with the resources and the money that you're coming in and things like that. So what is the new client like? Like you've gone from the 500 to 2,500. What are you noticing differently? Like they're obviously more skin in the game. They're better to work with. How would you define these newer types of clients that you're giving this time to for such great value?
They're really committed to finding out what's really going on, rather than, you know, just coming in with that issue. And I make it clear to them on the call, you know, that it's a deeper thing, and they get it. They go, yeah, I know, you know, because obviously it's manifesting in other areas of their life, not just what they're doing. And in the niche that I've chosen, it's sort of like at the end of the road for people who've had anxiety and have lots and lots of things. And then they, you know, all of a sudden now they're getting chronic pain, and they've got multiple issues that they're dealing with. So they totally get it, you know, and they're really relieved that they can chat with somebody who gets that, you know, like it's not just about the pain.
So for you, just working with this one type of niche, in comparison to sort of working with anybody that came along, what does that allow you to do as a therapist? Like obviously get better at working with that type of clientele. What else do you find gives you more of an advantage just by niching down?
Well, my Facebook stuff is targeted, and people know what I do, and they're, you know, like they're all looking for somebody who has something that they've not yet found, you know, because they've been to, you know, doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, different specialists, they've had operations, they've had a whole range of things, and, you know, that didn't work. So if I was just saying, oh, you know, like I do anything, well, I don't know that they'd be particularly attracted to me, you know, because I don't really understand what they're doing. And you know, I can talk about their issue, and I understand the effect that it might have on their life. You know, like I've never suffered chronic pain. I've had chronic fatigue before, so I get that side of it. But, you know, I don't need to have had it in order to understand what they're going through, because I've been speaking to so many people who have that as an issue. And I've done a lot of research as well. I did heaps of research before I really decided on the niche. I did some extra training in things that was specifically targeted toward that area. So, you know, so when I'm talking to people, I'm really confident that I actually, well, I can help them for starters, and that I understand, you know, where they're at in the whole totally changing their mind about the way they think about pain, because they have to do that in order to let it go. So I can see where they are in that, and so I can help them to move through it.
I think it's really important as well, and what you said was fantastic. It's like you don't have to have had it in order to fix it. But what's interesting is over time, you're probably even getting it now. I probably sense now that you're getting that, which is why you can charge so much, is people are listening to you going, how does she know that? Like, how does she know things from something she's never had before? Therapists and coaches are always obsessed with, you know, speaking to people, creating rapport, doing this sort of stuff. And I get that, being friendly, all that stuff. What I think is really more important is a client has to know that you understand them back to front and inside out. This makes you more compelling, in contrast to someone who says, well, I can work with anything. Now, in the context of your strategy calls, you can imagine the power that has to be able to talk to someone at their level, to understand them back to front, but be able to respond to them in such a way where you have the confidence to say, well, look, you know, I understand it's you, it's your story, but I've got many other clients I've helped this with. I'm more than confident I can also help you. So could you imagine doing a strategy call? It'd be like me doing a strategy call with a client who is running an accounting business. It'd be very hard. Like, I know my own accounting, but it'd be very hard to help service this person because I don't know the background of accounting. I haven't done the research. I don't know the ins and outs, the laws and stuff. And I think this is ultimately what happens for us as coaches and therapists when we do these calls. we don't understand our market well enough, or we just sound like everybody else. We're just trying to sell. As you know, with the strategy calls, we don't sell at all. All we're trying to figure out is, can I help you? Are you a good candidate for me? And do we gel together? The sale sorts itself out. And the one way it does that is because you know these people so well. You become like synonymous with, don't go see a hypnotherapist for anxiety, go see Janice. People really don't even think about what you're doing. They just know you're synonymous with that thing. And what that really does is helps you not even convince, but it just wraps around in your client's mind. I think, you know what, she's the right one. She's the specialist. I understand why her prices are so high, because she's telling me things that no other therapist or coach has ever said to me. And, you know, telling me things that this lady shouldn't really know about me. And that creates that rapport and trust. So for you, like, run me through, like, you had the strategy con. I remember when you posted in the group, I was literally doing backflips when you first had that $2,500 client. What was happening during that time on the strategy call? Had you made your mind up before and written it down? You know, I'm going to charge $2,500. Was it on the fly? How did it work out for you?
Oh no, I had the script, I had the whole thing. I was really ready for it. You know, like, I've been practicing. I offered my everyday price of the $3,500, and then, you know, if they committed on the call, the $2,500, and yeah, then I just waited for them to say yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was really good. Like, I had, you know, I'd worked out my price because I'd worked out what I was offering. Perfect. And you know what I mean? Like, I made, like, my offer to them is what I think the price is worth. So yeah, so, you know, like, it's not like I was seeing clients for pain when I first was trying it out as a niche. Like, you know me, I'm a perfectionist. I stuff around just really trying to get everything to the nth degree, but that's what I did. I practiced on clients at my lower rate, and I wasn't practicing on them. I knew I could do it, but you know what I mean? I was getting really confident with it. And I was doing a different thing for them, because what I was doing there was I was just getting rid of their pain, which was significant for them, obviously. But now I'm moving, you know, in a different direction. Like, I'm going from pain, and in getting rid of their pain, of course, you do need to address the emotional issues that are attached to that. But I get more into that now, and looking at, you know, so now in your life, you know, like, what sorts of things are possible, and, you know, what can we do? And, you know, like, so it's, I haven't just done the same thing and added and, you know, like, topped up my price. Yes. I've actually designed something that is really good. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without doing the program, because I you know, like, just the way that you get us to do it, where we're, you know, doing the survey initially, finding out what people want, and you're just talking to so many people about it, getting, you know, getting all the information that you need so you can make something totally worthwhile, you know, which is different to just getting a client in and doing a phobia. Yeah. You know, which you can do in, you know, less than 30 minutes, you know, let's face it. So, you know, but you're not actually saying to them, well, hang on a sec, I wonder why you got phobias, and you know what I mean? Yes. You're just dealing with the issue they come in with, and they pay you and they go, and it's, you know, something is going to crop up for them later on in life. And that was something I always had in the back of my mind, you know, when I was working that way, you know, yeah, well, geez, I wonder what's going to happen next, you know.
I think it's really important for people to understand, like, for you saying this and for the other guys and girls saying this, I'm not just telling you guys, and you're definitely not doing this, hey, just have your same service that you used to charge $100 for, now put it $2.50. Yeah. Absolutely not. It's like the first part of the program, we spend nearly a whole entire module just looking at value, offering what you do, creating an offer, understanding your market. So you are offering something that's worth even beyond $2,500. But for people who haven't done that exercise and aren't have that understanding, that level of understanding that you do now, it's very hard to see, because I've had people contact me saying, Scott, I'm doing the stop smoking session. I charged $2,500. They said it was too expensive. Well, that's not what I mean. You have to create $2,500 worth of value. You know, the offer has to connect with the problem that you're solving. So your client said yes. You were obviously super excited. What was your confidence like then? Was it like, wow, I can actually do this? What was going through your mind?
I thought, wow, you know, like I just followed the system and it just worked, you know. So that means that if I keep following the system, it'll keep working.
Yeah, you just repeat it.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I thought, you know, and knowing that, you know, like talking to the person and how excited they were about what we were going to be doing, you know, really looking forward to it. And yeah, just having coming into me with the right mindset.
Perfect.
You know, which when we're doing hypnotherapy and, you know, NLP and any of those things, if they're in the right mindset to start off with, like half of the work is done.
Yeah. And I think to get them to that stage, that's why we do the funnel. You know, that's why we have the survey. That's why we have the 15-minute call. That's why we do the strategy call, because we have to be alerted to, like, is this client right for me? Are they not? Are they going to be worth it for them? And all of these sorts of things. And like you said, yeah, like once you've done it once, you just have to spend the rest of your career just replicating whatever you did to get that one client. You just keep repeating it. So let's talk about more like what happens in the background of your business. Obviously with the program, we really set a precedent, because there's essentially two ways we can run our business. We can create the website, do the Facebook Lives, go to the events, be a guest speaker, and wait for clients to find us. Like sit by email, sit by the phone, wait for people to contact us. What we say is go looking for the right client. You make the first contact. You do all the social media and call those people out to contact you, and vice versa. What was it like for you to start doing a lot more social media, being a lot more active and things like that? What was that like for you?
It was terrible. I struggled with it. I'm not an out there sort of person.
That's why I asked. I know you really know. That's why I asked.
You know, like I love a Facebook Live. I do one every day. Yeah, I struggled with it. I really did. And, you know, like one of the last things that I did was change my business name to me.
I noticed that.
Yeah, so it took me a bit to get there, and to have the website, and even to have a clear photo of me on my Facebook page. Honestly, it was like, oh my God. Yes, so that was all fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I had a lot of help with my buddy from over that.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it was okay after I'd done it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it now.
And it's something that you have to learn. It's like we say in the first part of the program, I need to teach you to be T-shaped.
Yes.
To have your focus, but to be competent across everything else, so then you can fix the business. I can remember a long time ago, I knew nothing about websites and stuff like that, to the extent I couldn't do it myself. And one time I went nearly 3 weeks with my actual email capture being down. So I missed out on heaps of clients. People couldn't contact me, and I had to wait for my developer to fix it. I thought, that's 3 weeks, no clients, no pay. Why don't I just figure it out for myself? So becoming T-shaped, although it's terrifying, it's like when you first became a therapist or a coach, it would have been the same thing, terrifying, but you get over it. But a lot of coaches and therapists, that's all they want to do. And they just say, now I want to hire other people to do this stuff for me, all the other stuff. And it can be like, you know, it can be one of the worst moves you can make in your business, because you need to be able to fix things on the fly. As you know, in business, no one talks about the background of the business. Everyone just sees the success, like Janice is charging money, she's making, you know, she's doing awesome. But it's behind the scenes stuff. That's what really gets us, like the email marketing stuff, the reaching out to people on Facebook, the social media, like you said, Facebook Lives, as terrifying they are. When all of this stuff has a purpose and you understand that you're learning to be a business owner, 6 months from now, you'll have so much control over your, or even closest, you know, have so much control over your business that we can actually start to pull your business apart while it's successful, tinker with some things and make it even more successful, and teach you those new ways of doing it. At the end of the day, it's all like a system. Everything you do has to, every part of your business has an effect on the next part. People think, well, I didn't make a sale, it must mean because I'm a bad therapist. We need to backtrack through your whole business and find out where the flaws, what are the things that need to be fixed, what's down, what's broken, and fix all those things. So like you said, by the time you get to the strategy call, people are ready to go because they've already gone through your system, and we've funneled people away that aren't right for us, and you're accepting only the people that are right for you. Big difference.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So now that you're in the new version of the program, what have you enjoyed the most about it? Because it's gone through a lot of iterations. Like, where do you see like your business going into the future? Because obviously we talk about how to maximize your face-to-face, then get into group coaching, then creating your own personal development type program. What's, let's say, the goals for you over the next 6 months with your business?
I think probably over the next 6 months, I'm just going to really enjoy having these new clients and working with them. And that will give me the information that I need in order to go to the next level, like to work out, you know, what sort of a program I could develop. And, you know, like that's what I love about it. Like everything that we do along the way informs us for the next bit.
Yes.
You know, and so, you know, it just makes it so much easier. And I know that, you know, like when I first started, you know, doing the course, I thought, well, I'm never going to have, you know, the next part of it. I'm just going to see clients. And that was only because I couldn't think of what I would do, which is, you know, I mean, it's hilarious. I'm a fully qualified trainer, you know, like why wouldn't I be training? You know, so it's ridiculous, but I couldn't see what to do. And now in each part that I progress through, doing the work, which, you know, you always tell us we've got to do the work, and that's not a joke. You actually have to do it. But doing the work informs the next little step, and I think that's part of the beauty of it. You know, like the next bit just comes.
Yeah, you evolve.
I know, it sort of sounds like it's magic. I mean, you do a lot of work, but it just comes, you know, because you put the work in.
Yeah, you evolve over time. Like when I tell you guys, hey, only spend 3 months sitting with face-to-face clients before you do a group, I mean that as a metaphor. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But like you said, you take your skill into creating a coaching program. You don't think of it because you'll never be able to figure it out. One day it'll click. One day you'll wake up and go, wow, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to create. That's what I'm going to be selling. This is where my new career is going. Have you started to outsource any work yet?
No.
Like your social media stuff and anything like that? Still enjoying it?
I don't know that enjoying's the word. No, actually, I do enjoy it. I want to understand it better before I outsource it. And I'm always working on my control freakness as well, of course. But I want to really understand it. It's you know, people laugh, but when you're older, all of this stuff is not as easy to get across. You know, like it's you know, when I was working in an office in a really big organization, that was one of the first organizations to have like computerization. I had the first computer on my desk in Queensland, right? And people used to come and just look at it and say to me, oh, next time you turn it on, can I watch what you do?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and so that's where I've come from, you know, and you know, you had a login that was like this long. It was just like amazing.
Yeah.
So I like to really understand it before I would give anything away, because like this is my business.
Yeah, it's important too. Like your VAs and your workers and your developers are only as good as the instructions you give them. I know people that first start, they want to become an entrepreneur and a business owner. Their first move is, I'm going to hire a VA to do my work. Well, what are they going to do if you don't even know what you're doing? How are you going to get them to market your business if you don't even know how to market it? You understand it, you nail it, then you give really concise instructions to a developer or a VA and say, you just do this one thing. Like you literally copy and paste this, I'll do the rest. And that's, again, how we train people. So what's been the most eye-opening part of the program for you? What's helped the most, do you think?
Oh, wow. I think it's the no bullshit part of it, right? You know, like I've done so many courses and business things and, you know, all of that sort of stuff. And I've even trained motivation when I was working in a direct sales company. So none of that stuff is new to me, but I love the way that you put it together. And it's the same as like when I was working with you as a hypnotherapist. There's no fluff, no crap. It's like, this is really the way it is. And I think that's what I like. You just like cut to the chase, like this is what you got to do. If you're not up for it, then
Don't
you know. and I think that's what I like. Like you don't confuse us with stuff that we don't need, and you know, you're very clear that we need to you know, take what we need out of it for the particular niche we've got and for the business that we want to have, and that we have to do the work and that we have to be really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I think that's what I like about it, just the no fluff. Like it's just, this is what you got to do. Just bloody do it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not big on that whole just motivating you guys to be successful, because everybody does that, but no one talks about the system. You can be happy and think positive all you like. I'm definitely not going to tell you how to do it. But that's only as good as the system that you have in place to allow you to get to that place.
Yes.
You know, even a lot of courses that I've done, you know, I've done business courses before, they literally say just set goals, work hard each day, and trust the universe type attitude. Well, how do I get client? How do I sell? How do I take a payment? How do I do a payment plan? How do I do social media? No one talks about this stuff. So it's definitely, like you said, it's either you just do the work or don't bother. Don't even bother starting, because it's a hell of a lot of work. It consumes your life. It becomes like, Judy said this the other time in her program. She goes, I literally wake up thinking about the program. I go through the day doing the program. I go to bed thinking about it. I wake up and it starts all over again. Like it just doesn't leave you. And that's really the attitude we need as entrepreneurs, and especially business owners, especially in the type of business we have. We're selling something that's intangible. We're just selling people a promise, and that's hard to sell. So what would you say to people that are sitting there watching this thinking, wow, that's where I want to be, that's what I want to do, I struggle with this, I struggle with that? What would you say to these people who are like fence sitters, who are pretty sure or convinced themselves they can't achieve this?
Just bloody do it. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, seriously, you know, why would you want to be a therapist and not, you know, give your clients the best therapy that you can give them? Why would you not do that? So, yeah, so just do it.
Awesome.
Really.
So the last question I have, any word of wisdom for people watching this?
Any word of wisdom? Yeah, I would say be your own best client, right? Do the work yourself. Don't expect your clients to go anywhere where you wouldn't go. You know, hook up with a buddy on the, you know, the group, and yeah, do it.
Awesome. So for also probably the last thing for people watching this, if they're suffering from the anxiety and things like this, how can they get in contact with you?
Okay, so I specialize in helping people with chronic physical and emotional pain. So they can get in touch with me through my website, which is my name, Scott.
Excellent.
www.janicehughes.com.au.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Janice, that's all I have for you today. This was enlightening. It's good to find out. I wish everybody could see where I met Janice the first time and how far she's even come just as a therapist, not even just a business owner. So that's awesome. So thank you for jumping on. I'm sure I'm going to see you in the group, and that's all I have for you. So again, thanks for your time. I know you're going to be busy today. I will see you on the group, and as per usual, just get back to work.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure. My pleasure, Janice. We'll speak very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.